guys, welcome to this episode of Twin Magnet Production. On today's discussion, we're having something very hot, something you can afford to miss, something very interesting. Trust me, this is very interesting. If you haven't seen our previous video, please do so, because you can't just bounce on this one without having a taste of what we've dished out for you. I remain your host, Marital. We have a wonderful guest in the house, a specialist in this field we're about to discuss. Join me as I welcome Mrs. Manchit Chris Abba. I hope I got it right. Welcome, ma'am. Please kindly introduce yourself so they'll get the name properly.
My name is Manchit Chris Abba. You got it.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So today we're going to be discussing money matter. Trust me, no relationship can function properly without money. And we do understand that money is also the root of all evil. But it's inevitable. You can't enjoy your relationship without money. Today we're going to be looking at how to make it work. A lot of people have gotten their relationship dissolved on this account. A lot of people are facing turmoil in their relationship because of this same money issues. So we're going to be looking at it. How do we go about this money? How do we make it right? How do we discuss, how do we work out things so we don't get it all wrong? And like I said, Mrs. Manchit is going to help us throw more light on that. So ma'am, what do you have to say?
Money has been a very major issue in marriages and relationships. It has cost people their homes. It has been a cause for divorce and a cause for lack of trust for each other in a marriage. And it's something that really needs the attention of people or intending couples. This is because if you don't talk about it, if you don't agree on how you're going to handle your finances, how you handle your spendings as a couple or in your marriage, it's really going to affect the marriage at a long run.
Sure.
And there are times that husbands and wives just go into marriage without talking about it, and it really affected them at the end of the day. That is why the first and most important thing that any intending couple should do, or one of the first things you talk about in your intention to get married or your premarital discussions and decisions to take, is your finances. How you handle it, how you go about it, how you have your budget as a family, how you spend your money, or who takes what responsibility, or who handles the saving of money.
All right, okay, that's clearly stated. What is your take on partners or a spouse keeping secrets from his or her spouse based on financial decisions?
You know, you are expected to be one in marriage, and when a husband and a wife keeps secrets from each other, it really affects the trust that they have for each other, and that is what brings about the breakage, that brings about the divorce. You know, when a wife is keeping secrets, it makes the husband suspect every of her spendings. A husband will become irresponsible towards the wife, and then the wife is expecting much from from him, and he's not meeting up because he believes that she has so much and she's covering up, you know, or the wife begins to demand too much from the husband because she doesn't really know how much he has or how much he can be able to give her. But if he's able to make her understand, if they are able to communicate and have an agreement that we are going to be having allowance for this, or we will spend a certain percentage on the house or the home upkeep, and we'll spend a certain percentage on our savings, we'll save a specific amount or a specific percentage of our salary or our earnings. And by the time there's an agreement like that, it makes it easy for them to keep away from keeping secrets, because it's not good for them
at all. It's not. Thank you so much. I've seen men who do that on the account that if their spouse, that if their wives get to know that they have this particular amount in the savings, they'll, okay, that's when they'll start demanding, I need this, I need that. And trust women.
It's normal. A woman, people have different priorities, and you know, if she does not set her priorities right, she might begin to put in extra things that she has not been looking at. Yeah. She'll begin to go for, like if she's wearing wigs, she might start going for the higher ones because she believes that he can afford it. But you know, when he makes her understand that this is what I can spend on you, or this is your allowance, she cannot go out of it. She will learn to go within her spendings or within the allowance that she has.
All right, thank you, ma'am, for that brief clarification. So what is your take? What do you have to say about couples having personal or joint accounts?
Yeah, it's advised that the couple have an agreement of how they are going to be handling their finances. You know, some couples, joint account works for them, and in some or most cases, separate or personal accounts work for them. And in the case where the couple are already having a joint account, but there is problem in having the joint account, they can still break up, separate the accounts so that there will be peace. The most important thing is that let there be an account that both are saving, that both are in agreement that we have something we are saving, because there will definitely be more responsibilities later. The children will come in, there are school fees to pay, and there is rent to pay, and you might want to have budget, educational career pursuit that one of the couple or both of the couples want to go in at a certain time in their lives. And sometimes you want to have big projects, like you want to build a bigger house, you want to have land and all that. So in those cases, you should have an account that you can handle such things, or a percentage that you are putting aside that you know you are saving. And why it's important that couples have personal accounts in some cases is because there are responsibilities that the husband may have towards his relations, towards his dependents. Maybe in cases where the parents are sickly, or you know, the parents are retired, or he has junior ones, or even the wife, she has junior ones that they have to pay school fees, or they have to still be responsible for, or they have parents that they are still feeding, or you know, they have some personal projects like ministry or something that the wife or the husband would not want to disturb each other for. So they should be able to have leverage to or a freedom to their personal accounts to be able to reach out to such responsibilities. But where everything is joined together and then they are not in agreement, of how to spend the money, there will be a problem. There will be situations where the husband might be spending more than the wife, or the wife might be spending more than the husband, and then they feel like they are cheating each other. The other company that is not spending will feel cheated and will now take it on the one that is spending. And it's important that the joint account, if you have a joint account, you should be able to have an agreement of percentage of how much you are going to be using in every specific spending, so that there won't be unnecessary spending. But where you have personal accounts, you should still be able to know your priorities, have as a couple, be able to know what you are spending on food, what you are spending on rent, the percentage that goes into rent, where they are having separate salaries. Everybody is earning differently. There will always be a difference in the spending. So the person that is earning more might be expected to put in more. And that is where there's also another clash, because where it is the woman that is earning more than the man, there's always that tendency that the woman wants to be in control, because the person that is putting in more wants to have the final say. And it doesn't work for husband and wife, because the man is supposed to be the home head and the breadwinner. And where he's not meeting up with his responsibility, the woman might take it on him, and then he is now feeling like she's not submissive, and at the end of the day, they have serious problem in their marriage. But where the husband is responsible and is putting in his best and putting in the percentage that they have agreed on, and the wife too is putting in the percentage they have agreed on, or the responsibility that they have agreed on, everything works out for them well.
Okay, very good. I got something from what you said is, it doesn't matter who earns what. Just recognize your position per time. Even if the woman is the one that earns more. You know, one thing with women, it tends to, get into them. I pay the bills. I should be in control. That small temporary opportunity you have, you want to seize it and all.
But in the Bible context, everybody knows that the husband is the head of the home. And where there's no submission from the wife, definitely the husband will not love enough. It is reciprocal. The husband loves, the wife submits. Where she doesn't submit, it ends in divorce.
Level of submission can command respect and love. All right, very nice one. And okay, in addition to all you've said, what do you think will work out in a situation whereby we have two different people? Like when it comes to finances, I have a different personal reaction, personal attitude to money. You have a different one. Like for instance, the husband is the spending type. There are some men that they don't know how to keep back some money to themselves. Once they have money, anything that comes, they buy. Anything that comes, they buy. And the woman, on the other hand, may be the saving type. And these tend to bring problems. How do you think couples that experience such can manage it?
In such situation, the husband should come in agreement with the wife for the wife to be the one to be helping him save. They can come to an agreement that every month this specific amount goes into the savings. And every month the wife demands for that amount to keep in the savings. And then there is the one that is for the running of the home and other responsibilities. And then the wife should be able to encourage the husband to save, because sometimes the wives instead they tend to quarrel about it. You're spending. No, tend to advise him, tend to make him see the reason to spend. You know, let him know that there are long-term plans that should be done, like house projects, like buying of land, like you know, changing children's school standard to a better one, and you know, even the things that they have in the house, furnitures and all that, you could make him see that there are things to spend money on. So let us save. It will open his eyes and he'll realize that you are talking about it because it's for the good of the home, not personally, you know, not a personal kind of interest, but the interest of the family. He will not be foolish enough to refuse to save for such, because those are the things that the men are supposed to be responsible for.
Okay, that kind of reminds me of my own parents growing up, because my dad used to be this type that would love to buy everything. And he does it, you know, this kind of happiness. I want to get for my kids, I want to get for my wife, I know. Except he doesn't have money. My dad will spend to the last kobo, and he's fine when he doesn't have money. And he's not comfortable because he's used to spending. But what actually played out along the line was my mom started helping him, like, okay, whenever he gets certain amount of money, she kind of collects it. And that is after a prior discussion rather. They decided that I'll keep this money since you're the type that can save. Because my mom can have money and you will not know. You tell her I need this, she'll say there's no money. She understands. So it continued on till the point my dad learned to manage. And then we saw that if you give my dad certain amount of money, he will be reluctant to spend anyhow, because he knows that that is all he will get or he will gain access to for the rest of the month. So that kind of really helped him. Yes, and what you said, like, you don't go quarreling about it, because some women will want to, is it everything you buy? You know, the man will feel like, I'm being insulted. Yes, and I make the money and all, we want to be in charge and all. So that has really been clarified so far. And one more thing I would love you to talk about is on this issue of my money, your money, our money. You know, women, I don't know, trust us, so don't blame us. Don't blame us. Okay, should I say it's because of what was stated in the Bible, that the man is the head, the man provides. Any man that cannot provide is an infidel. The woman always feels that my money belongs to me. His money is for the house. His money is our money. What do you have to say?
No, but the same Bible also says that the woman is the helpmate. If the woman have this understanding that we are now one and this home is our home, then she should be able to agree that there are things that she should also put in. If there's only one-sided putting, definitely it will get to him one day and he will react when the woman demands or when there are needs to be met. It's important that the woman sees that the money is still our money, or the man should also understand that the money is our money, where the woman is earning more. You know, he'll feel that let her foot the bills. He has much more remaining for him, so he becomes irresponsible and goes out there and spends it anyhow. No, if the man keeps to his responsibility, let there just be this agreement that, okay, this is what I expect you to do. And if you know you can't meet up, you say, oh no, please help me in this, on this side, or why not you do this? There will definitely be an agreement at the end of the day. But where there is no agreement, or agreement is not forthcoming in, the wife or the husband, whichever person understands finances more, should be able to apply wisdom. Apply wisdom. You make sure that you are doing what you expect the other person to do. You put in what you expect the other person to do, and when you put in, you should let the other person or your spouse to know that this is what you have done. And once in a while, when your spouse has the money, you should be able to remind your spouse that you know you are expected to do this. Like there are times that you know, my husband have, joint accounts didn't really work with us.
Okay.
So we had to have
Separate accounts.
and then a joint.
Okay.
So that joint account, we agreed that there's a certain percentage that I put in.
Okay.
He puts in.
Okay.
So that helps out in settling
Bills. Okay.
everything that we are supposed to be doing, apart from the home upkeep that he gives and paying the rent and all that. That's really saved us from me even cracking my head and trying to bring out money from him. When there is a need, we just go into the joint account
And okay.
get it.
Disbursed from there. All right. I really love what you said, because a lot of people want to kill themselves because of joint account. We're warned, so we should have a joint account, and it hasn't played out well. And the fact that you have your personal account is another thing. Trust me, there are some spouses that feel so restricted when a partner wants to know, what did you use this money for? What did you use this money for? And that's where giving your partner breathing room to spend comes in, because some people tend to restrict their spouses, and that it hasn't ended well. You see,
Like the aspect of giving your spouse, like the word she used, breathing room. Allow your spouse to also have freedom to his or her account.
yeah,
To be able to spend willingly.
exactly.
Spend
Portion or under duress, should be able to spend willingly, and that's where the joy comes in. Where there's always pressure before money comes out, it doesn't play out well. At the end of the day, there's clash.
What did you use the remaining 5,000? And the man, obviously, I can't tell you down to I bought airtime too. There's no, it's really, it looks as if I'm in bondage and caged. I can't take financial decisions on my own and all.
Yes, but you should also be open to the fact that there should be a limit to your spending. The moment you are now in marriage, there is a limit to your personal spending, because there are more responsibilities now. So you shouldn't keep to how you have been. Don't bring that mentality in, and you still want to maintain your standard. Nobody's saying you should reduce your standard, but you should know that you still you have more responsibilities now. So you should curtail your spending. If you used to go out every weekend to have shawarma and ice cream, you should know that you should just
Thank God it's Friday.
cut it down, to maybe twice in a month, and when the children come in, it might be once in a month.
Exactly. And it results
because the responsibilities are increasing.
Exactly. Well, that's so wonderful, so lovely. You spelled it out. And one thing I love about the whole thing is whichever one, they need to sit and talk. Get to understand.
Of the whole
Get
thing.
to understand who you're in this with together. Get to know this person's opinion on this. You can't just decide. As much as you are the man, you can't just say, yes, I'm the head, so this is how the money should go. No. Even if you earn much more, there's still room for mutual understanding. With that, everything tends to play out perfectly, and you sail easily in your marital journey. So finally, before we wrap it up, I'm sure they've learned something, because I've learned something from you. What is your advice to couples who are having financial challenges, or those at the verge of dissolving their marriages on this account, but still believe something can be done? What's your advice to them?
Those that are at the verge of breaking up because of finances, you don't have to.
You can still run for help. That's why you still have a third party. In some cases, a third party can be God, which is supposed to be in the marriage in the first place. He gives the wisdom and all that. But also where you are not being able to help each other in some cases, you go for marriage counseling, or you can go to the church for marriage counseling, or professional marriage counselors, or sit down. The most important part is sitting down and talking about it. There has to be an agreement, and there will be an agreement if you go about it with wisdom, you go about it with the heart that you want the marriage to be. Divorce is not a solution, it's not the best. It can work if both will just sit down and agree. This is how we want it. This is how it will work. Start implementing their plans. Everything will work out.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. I have learned something I don't know about you. I'm sure you have. Thank you so much, Ma'am Manchit.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here to share your thoughts and your experience with us. We'd love to have you some other time, if you don't mind. So you've heard it for yourself. If you're having challenges in your relationship, and this opinion of it's my money, it's your money, it's totally wrong. If you have the mindset of oneness, you understand that there's nothing like it's your money, it's my money. So with this, you sail easily in your marital relationship. Trust me, it hasn't played out well where any one of you, let's say the husband trying to take ownership of, take control of finances in the marriage. It hasn't played out well. So the best you can do is to understand your one and talk together on how to make it work, and trust God that everything will play out fine. I remain your host, Marital. We've come to the end of today's episode of Swim Magnet Production. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We're begging. Turn on your notification button so you get notification as soon as our new video drops. Click the like button, leave a comment. We always say that, but so many of you barely do that. Please leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you, and share our link with as many as possible. I remain your host till we see you in our next video. Bye for now. It's March.